Mm-mm-mm. Lemon and blueberry is amazingly delicious. You will need to hand grate your butter. This is by far the best method. If you have a box grater, that's good. I am using this hand grater, but I'm using the smaller size. You want the pieces of butter to be as small as possible. And as soon as you get it grated, make sure you put it back in the freezer. It's scone day in my house, and we're going to make them two ways. Old Fashioned Scones. We're going to make a sweet one and a savory one. But the first thing I need you all to do is preheat your oven. We need to preheat it to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Let that oven go ahead and get good and hot. One of the main secrets to making a perfect scone is everything needs to be cold. But before we get started, if you are new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out here with me today. Take a second and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn that notification bell to all. My returning subscribers, thank you so much. And to my channel members, thank you so much for your loyal, faithful support. Okay, we're going to start with our savory scone first. This is a cheesy cheddar scone. It is amazingly delicious. I'm going to actually bake them together, but we're going to make them separate. This is one full recipe that I am cutting in half so that I can do half savory and half sweet. First thing we're going to do is go in here with a cup of all-purpose flour. Now, you see me putting in what looks like 2 cups, but this is a half cup measure. First thing you want to do before you do anything else, after you put your flour in, go ahead and give it a good whisk. We don't want any lumps or anything in our flour. To that, I'm going to add some baking powder. Now, I will leave all the ingredients down in the description so that you can make it in your kitchen too. This is garlic powder. This is sugar. Now, you know you're saying, why is she putting sugar in a savory dish? If you leave out the sugar, it's only about a half of tablespoon. But if you leave it out, your scones will be flat. So put that sugar in there. And then this is just a little salt and black pepper. Go ahead and get that well combined. Next, we're going to stir in our grated cheese. This is grated cheddar cheese. Now, with this particular recipe, you can use the flavors that you like. This is going to be a ham and cheddar savory scone for me. If you don't like ham or pork, leave it out. You can substitute the ham for bacon. You can use turkey bacon. You can use turkey ham, or you can even add in a vegetable of your choice. Go ahead and make sure your cheddar cheese and onions are well combined. Then we're going to go in with our grated butter. Grated this on the smallest side. Get that in. As you can see, it's not coming out because it's been in the freezer. It is frozen. Keep this dough cold at all times. Now, using a fork or a pastry cutter, go in and incorporate it until your flour is into small little pea sizes. Once we've got this flour mixture into pea sizes, you're going to put it back in the refrigerator or freezer, keeping it as cold as possible. While your flour mixture is in the freezer, go ahead and whisk together your buttermilk and egg yolk. Once you've got your egg yolk and buttermilk mixed, go ahead and pour it into your flour mixture. Add your ham. I think that's about 3/4 of a cup. And you want to just combine this until it starts to form into a dough. Once it starts coming together like this, you want to go ahead and turn it onto a lightly floured surface. Okay, this is what it should look like. Now we're going to just take, you don't want a lot of flour on here, but you will need some on the surface. Start with the small amount because you can always add more. Turn your dough out onto the floured surface. Need a little bit for our hands. This is sticky, so you want to put some flour on your hands as well. Then you want to gather this together. You're not necessarily kneading it, but you want it to come into a ball first, a ball like this. And then you want to press this ball into a flat disc. So you're not kneading it, but you are bringing it together. Just like that, press it down. And you can pretty much make this as thin or as thick as you like. It's a scone, so I don't want it to be too thin, but we want it to be a good size. Okay, now from here, take a knife. You want to run just a little bit of flour over the blade of your knife, but be careful because it is sharp. And you can cut this really into as many pieces as you want. I am doing 4s, so I'm going to cut it in half this way. You want it to be in triangles or like a pizza or a pie slice. Put a little bit more flour on my knife. And again, you know what? I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this way. Yes, I like this size better. And then this way. They don't have to be perfect. And from here, we're going to put them on a baking tray. Okay, I just have a simple tray here that's been lined. It has holes in it, but it can be a baking sheet. I have one over there that doesn't have holes. I just didn't have enough regular ones that are this size because it needs to go in the freezer. So first thing I'm going to do is just put them on the baking sheet, not touching. Okay, now I'm just taking a paper towel and sitting it down here because I don't want the bottom of my tray to have all that flour on it since we have to go into the freezer. Move this one over just a little bit. From here, you want to take about a tablespoon of buttermilk and an egg yolk. You're going to whisk this together and brush it on. Once you've got your egg white and buttermilk combined, you want to just go in and brush this all over, including the sides. Okay, now this is optional, but this is a flaky salt. It's the kind that you would find on top of pretzels. You don't have to use this at all. I know a lot of people don't want a lot of salt, and that's fine. I do like to sprinkle a few pieces on the top of mine, but this is absolutely 100% optional. From here, we're going to put these back in the freezer and let them stay there while we make our blueberry lemon scones. Okay, on to our lemon blueberry scones. Okay, again, we're using about a cup of flour, and you see me putting it in twice because my measuring device is 1/2 cup. I will have the exact ingredient measurements in the description so that you all can make this too. Okay, putting in a little baking powder and sugar. Now, naturally, this is more sugar than before because, well, this is the sweet scone. Go ahead and mix that together. Make sure there's no lumps in there. We don't want any lumpy batter. We want it to be nice and smooth. Now you can go ahead and add in your salt as well as your lemon zest. Whisk that all together. Now we're putting in our grated butter that's been in the freezer all this time, keeping it nice and cold. Take your fork and go ahead and incorporate it until it is fine crumbs. Smells amazing. And once you have your flour and butter incorporated to the point where it looks like fine crumbs like this, go ahead and take it and put it in the freezer, keeping it cold. Now we have heavy cream, cold heavy cream, cold egg, and vanilla extract. Go ahead and whisk that until it is fully incorporated. Once your buttermilk, egg, and vanilla is incorporated, go ahead and pour that over your flour. Add in your blueberries. Now for this recipe, frozen blueberries work best because you need them really cold. And because they are frozen, they won't burst so fast, creating a actual blue batter. Mix this until it starts to come together as a dough. Do this very gently so that you won't over incorporate your dough or your blueberries. Once you have them good and incorporated, you want to go ahead and turn this out on a lightly floured surface. Again, if you don't feel you have quite enough liquid, you can add a little bit more buttermilk. I had a little bit left in there, so I just went ahead and put that in. Okay. From here, we're going to cut this into, I guess, 6 sections too. Don't forget to put a little flour on the edge of your blade. Be sure to be careful in doing so. But it helps your blade come right back up out of that dough. Have another pan that's lined. We're going to take these and put them on the tray in the same manner as we did before. And these are a little bit stickier simply because they have that blueberry in there. You need to get these cold. Okay, again, I am just putting this paper towel down here so that I will not mess up the bottom of my pan going into my freezer. I do not want that cleaned up. Now from here, we're going to take buttermilk and just brush that all over, sides, front, back, everywhere, all over our scones. Okay, from here, we're going to go over the top with just a little bit of sugar. If you have a coarse sugar, that actually works best, but I don't have a coarse sugar, so I'm just using my dried organic cane juice. Into the freezer for at least 15 minutes, and we'll be back. We are almost ready to come out of the freezer and go into the oven, but while we wait, if you have not tried my all-purpose prep seasoning, you can get it at shopcookingatpamsplace.com. Now I'm going to take the world's best spatula, my broke spatula, and we're going to transfer them from the sheet I had them in the freezer to a larger baking dish. Now you can go ahead and cook them right on the sheets that you had out in the freezer. I honestly don't have a rhyme or reason why I like to do this other than they need to be about 2 to 3 inches apart. And this larger baking dish allows me to cook them all with having room around them all, instead of having some so close to the edge or anything like that. So that's what we're doing. Okay, this is what you should look like going into the oven. We're going to bake these in a 400-degree oven for about 20-25 minutes. Depends on your oven. Check them at the 20-minute mark and go from there. Okay, so once the blueberry ones are done, you're going to need to put an icing together for them. So you'll need about a half cup of powdered sugar and about a tablespoon and a half of lemon juice. Now you can squeeze it out of a lemon and use fresh lemon juice. I just like to go ahead and use this. It's just easy, quick, and simple. I'm not going to actually put this together until they're completely done because you don't want it to sit once it's all mixed and combined. But you do want your scones to rest and cool just a little bit. Otherwise, if you pour your glaze on there prior to that, it's just going to run off. We are all done. They look amazing. This tray is big and hot. Let me bring you guys up close. Ooh, don't they look amazing? Oh my goodness, look at that, guys. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Savory and sweet. Y'all know I gotta make me a cup of coffee. Oh my goodness. Let me grab a fork so we can do a taste test. Oh, I don't know what I was thinking. I do not need a fork, but take a look at that up close. Oh my goodness, this is the savory one. I want you all to see the inside. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Delicious, delicious, delicious. Now let me show you the inside of a blueberry one. Ooh, oh my goodness. Look at that, guys. Bursting with blueberries. Look at the texture of the scone in there. Oh my goodness. Time for our taste test, and as always, if you are new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today here in my kitchen. I really do appreciate you guys. Take a second and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell so you won't miss anything. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for keep coming back and spending time with me. Channel members, thank you so much for your loyal, faithful support. Okay. Ooh. Ooh, I don't even know which one I broke. Oh, this one. I'm going to taste the savory one first. Oh, my goodness. Look at that. I just want y'all to see the inside one more time. Oh, my goodness. My kitchen smells good. My house smells good. The cheddar cheese, the green onions, the ham. All you need to do is sit down and have breakfast. You got your savory and your sweet. And yes, I'm having one of each with my coffee. This is delicious. Now we're going in for the blueberry. Oh my goodness. Look at that texture. Look at that texture again. Lemon and blueberry is amazingly delicious. I will see you all next time. The good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. Bye-bye.